Hey guys, it's Jeremy from Online Broadcast Blueprint. And gosh, it's been forever since I made a video. So my apologies. It's been crazy. I was in North Carolina all last week. Just a lot of work stuff with my real job going on, had family visiting. But a few things I want to talk about with you. I've missed being here with you guys. So I'm excited to be here and want to share a couple things. First of all, a quick update on my station, Radio Valley. By the way, you can always email me at radiovalley@mail.com. I am fully enmeshed using Radio DJ and stereo tools, and knock on wood, everything's working pretty good. I mean, there's a few little times where I get a mismatch, a sound card timing mismatch. I don't remember what it's called. And it'll start sounding glitchy, but that's like, maybe I've gone over a week without any problems. And then I'll get that little problem and I literally run down and turn off stereo tools and turn it back on right away. So my station goes down for about 10 seconds. You don't hear anything, but then it comes right back up and the problem's solved. Anyways, gosh, guys, if you're just using Live 365, I know a lot of us use Live 365. If you're just using Live 365, and if it works for you, great. But for those of us that are anal about the audio and the sound, and we want our stations to sound like a real station, it's really hard to do with Live 365. So you'll really want to think about moving to some type of automation software. I really think you need to do that. I mean, I'm just saying. On my other station, I still just use Live 365, right? But to be honest, that's because my buddy Rich runs it and he doesn't want to make the transition to Radio DJ or any other type of automation software. And so I'm letting him do it. But to listen to my Radio Valley compared to my classic guitar, it's night and day. I mean, Radio Valley actually sounds like a real radio station. The other one really doesn't. I mean, I'm just being honest. And I've figured out the voiceovers, to where you can actually play voiceovers over your music. So you actually sound like a real disc jockey talking up the ramps of your songs. You can't do that with Live 365. So I'm happy with how my station's sounding, continuing to tweak it. And again, it's a learning curve, but you don't learn it until you start doing it. And so at some point you just got to jump in with both feet and do it. And so that's kind of what I'm doing now. So, so far, so good. I'll give you more updates. Now, I wanted to make a video about how to make the talk voiceovers. It's funny because in Radio DJ, they have what they call voiceovers. And then they also have I'm technically using a sweeper function to make my voiceovers because that works better. But I want to make a video to show you how to do it. It's not that hard. It's time consuming because to do it right, I have literally hundreds of different liners. I have them named and sorted by length. So let's say I make a 12-second liner. I literally go through and attach that specific liner to every song that has a 12 or 13-second intro. Bang, 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 bang. But I've been doing that over the last 3 weeks, and every song has at least 8 or 10 liners attached to it, regardless of the intro length, right? So very time consuming, but it's worth it because you can listen and, 4 times an hour, you hear me come on and I'm talking up the ramp of a song and it sounds real. It sounds live. It doesn't sound like, an automated recorded thing. So you can do some cool things with the automation software, play out software that you can't do with Live 365. So just throwing that out there. And I know if I'm talking to a lot of you that are just starting, so I don't want to demoralize you. If Live 365 is working, keep using it. But at some point, think about migrating over to some sort of play out software. It just sounds more professional. My personal opinion. Okay. Another thing I want to talk about. I've got two folks. I've made so many friends. It's been awesome. And like three people from Canada that I'm talking with, which is just awesome. But of all the people I'm emailing back and forth and texting back and forth, two of them, they're frustrated, right? And I completely get it because I was frustrated at first too. And one of my new friends said, I'm thinking, do I want to keep doing this? Because it's frustrating. It's very times. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Keep doing it, right? It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I know it's very common. People will say, I only had two people listen all day. One of them was my mom, right? Right. So I get that. It's very, very slow. Remember why you started in the first place. You started it for fun, right? What do they say? The worst day of fishing is better than the best day of work. Same thing here, guys. Yes, it's frustrating, but remember, we're doing this for fun. So even if no one listens, it's still fun. But it's a marathon, not a sprint. Be patient. It will happen. More listeners will come. So as Zig Ziglar would say, it's the checkup from the neck up, right? Give yourself the checkup from the neck up. Why are you doing this? If you're doing it to make money, well, this probably is maybe not the best thing. I'm not saying it's impossible. I make money. I mean, I don't make a lot of money, but I make money, and my goal is to make even more money. But I've been doing it even when I'm not making money. And I think that's probably where most of us are. So the whole idea of this channel is to help you make a little money. But remember, the thing that's really driving us is we're doing it for fun. So if it's not fun, then maybe you shouldn't do it. But, just check your motivations, right? Remember, we're doing it for fun, and keep it fun. And if you're having fun, people will know you're having fun. And that in and of itself taps into the universe, right? And more people will dig that vibe, right? So be fun, have fun, be happy, be positive. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Okay. I'm like a motivational speaker. I live in a van down by the river. Okay. All right. Another observation. I've been listening to a lot of different stations. Shout out to the Fizz. Fizz is a great station, guys. Just the whole presentation. It's fun. It's upbeat. The production's great. So check out the Fizz. Obviously, Radio DJ Dude's channel. I got to say, terrible name. It's Triple X 80s. I think he's changed it to Rad 80s. Because Triple X, Jeff, sorry, I have to say it. Triple X, so many negative connotations around. Why would you name a station Triple X? I mean, that is bad on so many levels. Is it a porn station? X, that's a negative. Yeah, Jeff, you're a smart guy, but terrible name. I mean, I just have to say it. Sorry, have to say it. So Totally Rad 80s is a way better name. And I think he's kind of migrating that. Triple X 80s. Come on. Terrible, terrible name. Sorry, I didn't mean to pick on Jeff so hard. By the way, if you aren't watching Radio DJ Dude, you need to watch. His videos are gold. You learn so much. Even if you don't do all the technical stuff, he shows you how to do, because he knows all that AI stuff, and he's got great AI tips and tools you can use. But even on top of that, a lot of great advice. So yeah, I know I'm picking on him about the name of his station. It's a great station though. You got to listen to it. We just, hopefully he'll change the name of that station if he has. Yeah. Sorry, Jeff. But listen to the Fizz, listen to, Jeff's station, whether it's still Triple X or Totally Rad 80s or whatever it's called. You got to listen to those. RZR Country, another friend of mine, Great station. The production's great. Just a lot of good stations to draw inspiration from. And you know what? You'll get inspiration from the bad stations too. Okay. Listen to bad ones. And you do exactly the opposite of what you hear on those stations, right? So you'll learn a lot. Give yourself a couple hours, to just listen to a station 15 minutes. One song's not enough. Listen 15, 20 minutes just to see, hey, I really like that. I can steal that. That sounds really stupid. I'm never going to do that. That sounds like crap. So do that. Very educational. Listen to other online stations. I belong to a lot of these internet radio groups, and I hope you do too. By the way, a plug for the Community Online Radio Network, CORN. It's on Facebook, Community Online Radio Network. Look it up. Join that group. We're up to about 35, 36 people. So it's a small group. But man, a lot of great people on there who are willing to help and give out advice. And it's just a really good group. And even if you haven't started your station yet, you should join that group. But check that out. But on all of these other groups, right? I'm in all of these international internet radio groups, and probably I'm in 10 different groups. And 90% of these folks, and I don't mean to be railing on anyone, but 90% of them will post these little AI generated ads. Tune into radio or tune into DJ Fred on Fridays. Check out my show, DJ Sam. And it's like, why? Yeah, you're not. Why? Why would I? I know nothing about you. What's your show about? They might tell you we're playing all the great hits of the. Well, that's great. Okay, I can hear that anywhere. Okay, guys, you have to make your station about the listener, not about you. Okay, you have to make the station about your listener, not about you. And how do you do that? Well, it's a two-pronged strategy, at least a two-pronged strategy. And this is why hyperlocalization works so well, because it's easiest to do it if you're focusing on a hyperlocal area. I see Razor Country doing it. Those of you that are trying to take a local bent, which that's the way I like it, man, you're super active in your social media. You shout out to Frontier Radio, my friend Eric. I interviewed him. If you go back to Eric is just starting kind of like what I do with Radio Valley, but he's doing it in northeastern Washington, a very hyper localized man. He's all over it on his social media. He is sharing posts about local stuff going on. I mean, he is just a local machine. And that's what you got to do, right? And Eric's station is on the air, but he's still kind of building it and all of that. But he is making such a footprint in social media, that people will look to him as a source of local content. Okay, you want to be a source. You want to be provide something on your station that your listeners can't get anywhere else. They can get the greatest hits of the 80s anywhere. Okay. So even if your focus isn't hyperlocalization, think about what you can do to add value to your listeners. And I don't think it's just by playing the best hits of the 80s. And don't get me wrong, I love the best hits of the 80s. I play the best hits of the 80s and 70s. Okay. But the draw to Radio Valley is the local angle. Okay. There's an old sales term. I'm going to talk about sales for a minute. They used to call it USA, your unique selling advantage. Okay. I was in the car business for a while. Car business, terrible business, but you learn a lot about sales and you learn a lot about buyer behavior. Your unique selling advantage. What is it about me as a salesperson, for instance, that sets me apart from any other car salesman? Okay. Think of that. Use that same mindset for your station. What's your unique maybe we'll change the word selling. I'm making up a term here. My unique broadcasting advantage. Do we like that? My UBA, I'm just making it up right now. My unique broadcasting advantage. What makes me different than the 14 other online stations in my town? What makes me different? And then double down on that. What makes me unique? And that's what you lead with. Okay. That's what you push in your social media. That's what you push in your liners and your sweepers. I've just started running a new liner that says, and I do variations on it. I have a new liner that says, hey, this is Radio Valley, where folks come to hear their hometown updates and stick around for the classic hits of the 70s and 80s, something like that. I lead with the hometown updates. I lead with the community coverage. I lead with the local aspect, right? And I deliver on that. I make sure I'm talking about local stuff. You guys have heard me talk about how I use it as a selling point. We don't talk about national stuff. No national advertisers. We don't cover national news. We are 100% local. That's another slogan I use all the time. 100% local. Okay. Whatever your UBA, your unique broadcasting advantage is, double down on it. Use it so that people know right away, if I'm listening to Radio Valley, if I'm listening to the Fizz, if I'm listening to Frontier Radio, I know this is what I'm going to get. Okay. Unique from all the other internet stations out there. Okay. This is a thinking man's game, right? You got to think about these things. And I've already said this before. Picture in your mind your listener, not a group of listeners. Picture in your mind a specific listener. What is your typical listener? How old are they? What do they do for a living? Where do they live? What kind of car do they drive? I mean, picture that in your mind. Go back and watch the interview I did with JY at the Fizz. Okay. I think this is in the JY. I think you said this in the interview, or we talked about it before or after. If it might not be in the interview, but when I talked with JY, he said that in one of his stations he worked for, they actually had a mannequin sitting in the in the studio, sitting in a chair. That was his listener. Okay. And so everything they did, he'd talk to that mannequin, because that made him think about one person, not a group of people. You don't want to sound like you're broadcasting. You want to sound like you're narrowcasting. You're talking to one person. And that only comes with practice. You can hear the guys that can do it and the guys that can't. Sometimes you hear a guy and it sounds like he's just written out a paragraph and he's reading a paragraph to you. Okay. Other guys, it sounds like, and this is what I work toward. I try to sound like I'm just sitting across the table talking to you. One person. It's me and you. Okay. That should be your goal. You're talking to one person. I love the idea of a mannequin. Put a creepy mannequin in your studio, so when you talk, you're talking to that one person. You're not talking to 100 people. You're talking to one person, right? Again, that's a mind shift thing you need to work on. But make your station about your listeners, not about you. Talk about things that are important to them. Posting a picture of yourself saying, join me for the best hits of the 80s next Friday. That's nothing. Okay, that doesn't do anything. That doesn't make me want to listen. Okay, so think about how you can present your product in a way that adds value to your listener or potential listener. Why would they want to listen to me? What's my unique broadcasting advantage? Okay. Think about that. Okay. Now, sorry, I'm just hammering you guys with stuff. I've been thinking about this. We are all in sales. Okay. If you own a business, you are in sales. Sorry, because most people say the idea of selling, just sorry. If you want to be successful, you got to sell. Okay. If you have an online radio station, you are in sales. Deal with it. Okay. You're in sales. If you want to make money, you got to ask for it. I mean, occasionally, and I told you, when I started the station, I had 3 people that reached out to me and wanted to sponsor, which is great. You'll have some of those that happen, and that's low-hanging fruit. That's great. But most of the sponsors I have are ones that I've asked to be sponsors. I've reached out either in person or email. Sent them an email. I'm gonna share in some upcoming videos the actual email I send out that's been pretty successful. If I spend an hour, and the problem is I just don't do it. I don't take the time to do it. If I spend an hour sending out emails and I just send the same email out, I just change the email address, and in the body of the email, I make sure I mention their name. I'll share a video about that. If I spend an hour doing that, I guarantee you, every time I've done that, I've gotten at least one sponsor. Okay. And how many times have I've probably done that a total of 3 hours in the last year and a half. I'm serious. Okay. If you were to spend a day sending out emails, I guarantee you would get some sponsors. That's a pretty bold statement, but I believe that. Okay. Unless you're just charging an astronomical rate. Right. And people will say, well, I don't really have that many listeners. Don't worry about that. You explain that in your email. Say, hey, we're starting out. Obviously, we're just growing the station. We don't have a lot of listeners yet. We would love for you to be one of our first sponsors. Okay. You get them to, I've told you what I charge $100, $100 a month. That's what I charge. Right. And not only do they get their ad played, but I talk about them on social media. I give them a plug. I've started a new thing, by the way, which has been really cool, is I will I've made a little video on my Facebook, and I'm going to follow up today. I was thinking about this, where I just give businesses free plugs. I told you I'm making these automated voice liners that play up the ramp of the song. Well, I invite businesses, hey, send me a quick blurb about your business. We want to give you a free shout out and send folks into your business. Okay. I've had quite a few people send in information about their station. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call right now. Okay. That will send in information about their station. I'll record a little 15 to 20 second plug for a station. Hey, if you're looking for a contractor, call Bob at Bob's Builders. And just a little plug that gives me more stuff to talk about. It's all local. People know these. Oh, it's in Trout Creek. I need a plumber. There's a guy in Trout Creek. There's a guy in Thompson Falls. So it's a win-win. They're getting a free plug. People are hearing it more localization, right? It's something for me to talk about. Look at giving folks free plugs. Okay. Now, none of those that I've given free plugs to yet has become a sponsor, but I've only been doing it for like 3 weeks. And I bet eventually they'll start to become sponsors. People love hearing local stuff. Hey, I heard them mention your business on Radio Valley this morning. That's awesome. Okay. But where was I going? Oh, let me go back to this. You gotta ask for money. Okay. In an upcoming video, I'm going to show you the email I use. Now, if you're really brave, and I did this one day, I printed out flyers. I went to Thompson Falls, which is one of the larger towns in Sanders County. And I spent the afternoon going into businesses, handing them a flyer and a business card, introducing myself. Okay. I did wind up getting one sponsor from doing that. But more than that it was exposure, and people heard. That was when the station was brand new, like a month in. And that's something that people are kind of uncomfortable with. It's good to do that. But you got to ask for money. You're not going to just get sponsors that fall out of the trees. I mean, rarely you will, but you got to ask for money. And that leads me to the last thing I want to talk about. And I just set this up yesterday. And I believe this is what JY uses at the Fizz. Get some type of platform where folks can donate to you. Patreon is okay. I'm not wild about Patreon because it's set up for like monthly stuff. And I want people to be able to send me $1 or $5 one time if that's all they want to do. If they want to donate monthly, that's great too. But just yesterday I said it, and I use Ko-Fi, ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com. You can set it up to where you can take donations. You can set it up like JY uses a function that's called buy us a coffee. You can set it up that way. Hey, if you like what you're doing, you can buy us a coffee. I actually use the option where you just say donate, and I put a post on my social media that said, hey, folks have asked, which is true. Folks have asked if they can donate to the station because they want to support it. And until now, I didn't really have a way to do that. Now I do. So now people can go to this. There's a link I can share on my social media. People can go in. I have it set up for now that they can select $1, $5, or $7 donations. They can do it once, or they can set it up monthly. And you can change that. I could change that amount at some point. Maybe I'll bump it up a little bit. But there is a vehicle now, and I'm happy to say I have received one $1 donation since I put that up yesterday. So, but now that's a link that I can post often in my social media, and that's something I can talk about on the air. So now I'm going to have some voice liners that are talking about donating to the station. Hey, you might not own a business, but if you still want to support the station, there's an easy way you can do it. You could donate $1, you could donate $5, you could do it $5 a month, whatever. It's something I can talk about on the air again. And you double down on the local angle. Hey, your donations help keep us on the air and help keep us talking about local events, right? So don't be afraid to ask for money, whether it's sponsors, whether it's donations. Don't be afraid to do it. Okay. I know we all kind of feel you're not going to get it unless you ask for it. So, gosh, I just went all over the place, guys. Thank you. But as I mentioned, I will share in an upcoming video the actual email that I use, and I'll figure out a way to actually share like a template on YouTube when I do that. Because like I said, if you spend an hour or two doing it, you'll get someone who will bite on it, unless you're asking too much for a sponsorship. But you're never going to get it unless you start asking for it. Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much. Love to hear from you. Shoot me an email at radiovalley@mail.com if you have any questions or comments, and we'll see you next time. Take care.